With the WWF vs Alliance blow-off match now set for Survivor Series on November 18, Vince McMahon led out the entire WWF roster to open Raw, with the company including tonight having 3 more weeks of build-up to get as much hype as possible from the invasion angle, with Vince recapping the events of SmackDown, which saw Shane confronting Linda with Stephanie slapping her to set up a Vince vs Shane street fight main event for tonight, before picking the Big Star Power team to represent the WWF in the winner-take-all elimination match at Survivor Series, with Taker, Kane, Angle, Jericho and Rock making the team, as with the Alliance angle losing momentum in the past month while going against heavy competition on Monday nights. That last week saw Raw dropping to its lowest rated show in its regular time slot in over 3 years. The company finally got positive ratings news coming out of SmackDown last Thursday, with the show which was headlined by a Rock vs Raw Van Dam hardcore title match along with the McMahon's angle, jumping big to a 4 rating with over 6.6 million viewers and the highest rated SmackDown and most watched WWF TV broadcast overall in over 2 months, resulting in a massive viewership gap of almost 2 million viewers between the Raw and SmackDown shows over the last week between October 22 to 25, and one of the largest discrepancies between the shows since SmackDown went on the air, closing the segment with Shane promising a top WWF name to turn and jump to the Alliance later tonight to start the show long angle. Perhaps the most talked about match result of the night was next, with Rob Van Dam vs Edge going 5 minutes for the IC title in a match between 2 of the targeted future main event players on the roster, and just 8 days after headlining a pay-per-view for the WWF title against Austin and Angle, seeing the surprising result of Van Dam being pinned clean by Edge to send the signal on him perhaps being taken down a notch to the middle of the card, with him coming off perhaps the hottest run of his career, coming after the past few months of Van Dam being largely protected and pinning every top name in the company after getting over big with the crowd as the most popular member of the Alliance group, with political forces behind the scenes working against his push while pointing towards some reckless work in the ring, including slightly injuring several top names, with the most notable example being him cutting or opening up Kurt Angle, with him ending up bleeding in 4 out of their 5 matches against each other, with big intrigue of seeing Van Dam's booking over the next several weeks in regards to his future position on the card, with more political sharks with established names about to come in the next several months. After the build-up and the opening segment, Raw's main angle of the night kicked off with tension between all the top WWF names throughout the night, starting with Chris Jericho calling for a locker room meeting, attempting to find the traitor in the group before being confronted by Rock walking in, questioning him being in position to organize a WWF meeting before reminding him that he originally came from WCW, while taking a throwback shot saying that while Jericho is the WCW champion and won the big one once, he has been winning world titles for years, multiple times, when Jericho was still on Monday Nitro getting beat by Juventud Guerrera, bringing up Juventud for the second time on Raw after originally taking a shot at him in a promo on October 4, 1999 as a response an hour after Guerrera did the People's Elbow on Nitro, before later going on to imitate his entire promo act, with Raw closing the first hour with several more segments continuing to advance the storyline, with Austin refusing to reveal to Regal who's about to join the Alliance in the lead-up to his upcoming match against Angle, and Jericho confronting Taker and Kane for not showing up at the meeting, followed by Dallas Page guessing Big Show as the person and Kurt Angle telling Vince that Austin asked to have a meeting with him next, establishing every top member of the WWF as the possible traitor, with Raw's storyline heavy first hour rebounding big from the 3-year low of last week to jump over 700,000 viewers from 4.4 to 5.1 million viewers, averaging a 4 rating for the entire hour after last Monday not entering the 4 rating range in any quarter between 9 to 10 p.m. Rock and Chris Jericho vs Booker T in test for the WWF Tag Titles Open Draw's second hour in a match going 8 minutes at the top of the hour, seeing the match continuing both the Rock-Jericho feud and the Alliance jump angle on the night with Rock and Jericho trading shots while still bailing each other to win the match and retain the titles, and with Rock returning to house shows over the weekend into main events against Austin on Saturday and Sunday. A new report suggested that Rock, who since coming back in late July only worked major market non-televised events on the road, with the company making the exception for Rock due to his movie schedule in a similar deal to what Nash and Hall are trying to negotiate for their expected January return, would have to take some time off again in the next several months, or at least cut even the limited number of house shows he currently works due to the Scorpion King movie, which currently scheduled for an April 2002 release, reportedly needing 4 more weeks of additional shooting to be done at the start of the year in what might interrupt Rock's WWF schedule at the busiest and highest profile time of the year with the build-ups to the Rumble and WrestleMania pay-per-views, with Rock's Hollywood stock meanwhile continuing to rise with him during the week, named by Entertainment Weekly as one of the 100 most powerful people in entertainment, with him among other things being credited for the massive success of The Mummy Returns movie despite only having a cameo role, with The Mummy after a record-breaking opening at the box office also setting records in VHS and DVD sales, with the movie becoming the highest-grossing movie in history on the platforms with over $90 million in sales and rentals, and after getting the word that Kurt Angle suggested him as the possible WWF performer to jump during his meeting with Austin, Rock went into Angle's locker room confronting him about the comments, telling him to never question Rock's loyalty to the company as he's WWF for life, with Raw's overall second hour climbing to a 4.2 rating with over 5.4 million viewers and the most watched hour of Raw since October 8. After last week's World Wrestling All-Stars tour in Australia gave the first sign of wrestling life outside the WWF for the first time since March, including running its first local pay-per-view on Friday at the Cindy Superdome in front of close to 10,000 people in a show that saw Commissioner Bret Hart shooting on Vince McMahon, saying that he never lost the WWF and WCW titles to set up a tournament to crown the first WWA champion on the night, which saw Jeff Jarrett beating Road Dogg in the final. Things went a step further during the week on a potential start of a competitor, with Hulk Hogan officially announcing on Thursday that he's set to be part of the new XWF company about to launch in the next few months, with Hogan in a radio interview hyping the launch, with him currently set for a McMahon-Bischoff on-screen role in the company and wrestle several high-profile matches a year, including bringing up the majority of top free agent names as part of the project, including Scott Hall, Roddy Piper and Kurt Hennig, while setting up plans for a possible Hogan vs. Sting match, with him saying that Sting's Time Warner contract expires at the end of the year, with the group's biggest challenge after reportedly reaching a deal to tape its debut shows at Universal Studios similar to the early days of Nitro, with the first tapings currently scheduled for 2 days on November 13th and 14th. Would be to secure a television deal with a major network to start talks of competition with McMahon again in the industry, with Raw's final quarter opening with a Dudleys vs. Taker and Kane WCW tag titles match going 5 minutes, with the Dudleys retaining just before the McMahon's main event. Vince vs. Shane in the WrestleMania 17 Street Fight rematch went 11 minutes in total to kick off at 10:55 p.m. into the 7-minute overrun, seeing Vince and Shane going all out after being placed in the Raw main event, recreating all the big spots from the WrestleMania match until Booker and Test followed by Taker and Kane were the first to run out for the payoff of the big angle of the night, bringing out Regal, Rock and Austin until Kurt Angle ran out last to tease him going after Austin before laying out all members of Team WWF to reveal himself joining the alliance, closing Raw with Shane pinning Vince to win the match with Angle and Austin to take the build-up to Survivor Series to the next level with Raw after the over 3-year low of last Monday, with the show dropping below the 4 rating range for the first time since March '98, rebounding over 500,000 viewers with a strong show-long storyline to a 4.1 rating.